Hi, welcome back. In this video we're going to address axonometric drawings. Typically they are drawings that are derivative of a model or a building in which you're trying to represent a two-dimensional thing three-dimensionally on a sheet of paper. In this case we're looking at an axonometric, which is kind of synonymous for a three-dimensional orthographic drawing. But there are several versions of this. The isometric, which uses a 30-degree angle on both sides of the horizon line. An axonometric, which is a 45 and a 45. Or an axonometric, which is a 30 or a 60. So I'm going to demonstrate to you, or for you, what it's like to see or do an axonometric using a floor plan as a basis. So in order to do that, I'm going to get started with drawing a very simple geometry floor plan. As in all things, drawings start with paper. So I'm just going to use a sheet of trace paper. And I do have a light table below my paper that we're going to use later on when we're tracing the floor plan. But for right now, I'm just going to rip off a couple of sheets and I'll set them down so that we can use them for this drawing. So bear with me for 1 second. Okay. All right, and just as a quick tip. I know I've talked about this in the past, in previous drawings anyway. But make sure you tape the curl side of the page, because it was a rolled product, in this case vellum. Make sure you tape the curled side page down. That'll just make your drafting easier, or your drawing, I should say. And then it's always a good practice to tape it down. So first, I'm going to use again a fairly thick pen, like this red pen, and fairly obvious too, just to draw a very simple floor plan that I can then convert into 3 dimensions. And just for reference, we'll be doing this at 3/32 of an inch equals 1 foot. Alright, so simply going to drag over my first line of the plan. And this will be a very simple geometry. Second line of the plan, and again, I'm not looking for hyper accuracy here. I'm just because the plan isn't the product I want to keep. It's the axon that's a derivative of that plan. My page is starting to jump on me a little bit, so I'm going to tape the corner. And then using again my T-square and my triangle, I want to make sure that my geometry is nice and perpendicular to each other. This will become important later when you're drawing your axon, so that you're not getting strange angles in line work. So I'm gonna draw a wall here. I'm gonna draw another wall down here. Much shorter wall, and I'll leave it at that. So this is a very, very simple geometry. So I have the base, or the stereotomic mass, the plinth, and 2 vertical walls, and actually, you know what, for giggles, I'm going to throw in a roof plane. And so for those keen eyes, this is kind of like the Barcelona Pavilion. That's where this is coming from, or something like this. So okay, so again, very simple plan geometry. 1 wall, a roof over that wall, and then the base that this all sits on. Now, this is very simple. It's just a floor plan to explain my technique for creating an axonometric drawing without doing a lot of measuring. So the very first part of this technique is to take my plan and to rotate it 30 degrees. Sorry for blinding you. But this is when we want this drawing on, or sorry, we want this light on. So be very careful and keep the drafting dots so I can rotate my plan. And I am rotating it relative to the edge so that my t-square still makes sense. So how I do this is I place my, and this is I guess this is fairly obvious, but this is a 30-degree angle relative to this horizon line. This is a 60-degree angle relative to that horizon line. And this is a 90-degree angle relative to this horizon line. So I want this to be a 30-60, or sorry, a 30-60 axonometric drawing. So I'm going to use my floor plan. Use my triangle to give me my 30-60 against my t-square. Rotate my plan. I'm going to pull it down a little bit so I have more space. And then once that lines up, which it does there, I will tape that plan down. Right? So hopefully you're following along. I've created a floor plan, which is now rotated at a 30-degree angle. I'm just going to clip off this piece of the plan so it doesn't interfere with my t-square on this side of the drawing surface. But so I have a 30-degree relative to my drawing surface, 30-degree plan, which will ultimately give me a 30-degree axonometric drawing. Alright, so now here's my second sheet, and this sheet is specifically for drawing the axonometric verticals. And again, it is my intention to be quite loose with this, and I'll explain why here in a second. So I'm going to tape that corner down, tape this corner down, and then now I'm ready to go. Okay, so again, this drawing, this type of drawing is when you're trying to explain two-dimensional information like a floor plan in 3 dimensions. So using my triangle, I'm simply going to drag up or down line work around that floor plan. So this is my first point. T-square is flush against the drawing surface, and I'm just going to drag a vertical line like that. Similarly here, another vertical line. Now I know my wall sits on top of this plinth, so I'm going to drag a vertical line that way. And again, I'm being very loose with it because it's not the finished geometry. This is just a rough draft, if you will. There's another vertical line for that wall. And I'll come back to that roof line, so bear with me for 1 second. And then I'm going to pull down, my last exercise will be to pull down the vertical for the base, or the plinth. Okay, so now I have my verticals drawn. I'm going to go in now and put tick marks for the heights of these things at scale. I'm going to turn this off real quick so you can see the 3/32 scale again. And I'm just going to use this 12. So everything, the height of these walls will be 12. Each of these will be 12. This will be 4. So the base will be 4 feet tall. The walls will be 12 feet tall. So that's what I'm going to go through and mark up now. And forgive the use of glasses, but I'm going blind. So there's my first tick mark on that vertical. This is my second. third. So I only need those 3 to give me the base. And then for the walls, I don't know if that blinded you or not, but oh, I said I was going to use 12, didn't I? So there's that one. That one. That one. That one. Okay. Now, I'm just going to connect the dots. I don't have to worry about being parallel to the sheet anymore because I've already have my measurements. I'm just connecting dots. This assumes you measured everything appropriately. I know some people probably question the wisdom of doing hand drawings, and it isn't about what you can do in a computer versus what you can do for a hand. It's about that the attention and the information that you are conveying with purpose, right? So that's really, for me, that's what it's about. Because you think a lot more about what you're doing when you're drawing something from hand than you are when you're drawing it in a computer software program. Okay, so I have my walls, and those walls actually have a thickness. So I'm gonna bring this T-square back, and I'm gonna draw another couple of verticals. Flip that around so I can see it better. Well, maybe not. That's what I wanted. I wanted that 60. And I'm saying a 60 because that's the way it worked out when I rotated my plan. So this will be a 30-60. I don't know how thick that wall is right now, so I'm just going to make a tick mark. I'm going to do that up here again. Okay, so let's just say at scale that's probably a foot thick. Let's say. So that's that tick mark. That's that tick mark. Right? So I use my T-square again. I'm now regretting the red pen for some of this finer line work. I should probably stick to a pencil for this, but it's alright. And then you would just complete the top of that, right? Now, in this case, though, I don't have to measure anything anymore for that one. But in this case, I have a roof line that's 12 feet up, right? Because these walls are 12 feet. So I'm going to draw that roof line real quick. And so this is not the roof. The roof is not a solid object, but it is up in space. So I'm going to draw these lines just up in space. I'm going to flip that around. This T-square is not awesome. Okay, and I'm going to measure the 12 again. I know this is a longer video than the ones I normally make, and I apologize for that, but it's a little easier for my students to follow, I think, when I show them step by step. And again, this is, compared to what they're doing, this is a very simple example, because they're recreating Barcelona Pavilion. Alright, so I'm going to connect the dots, and this will be my roof line. And I don't have to, again, remeasure any of this. I just simply drag out, because I know it's a 30-60. Actually, that's a 60. Oh, darn it, sorry. And then the 30. Where those things intersect. Alright. So this is my roof line. And the little bit of wall you see beyond. So all that wall is unnecessary because of where my roof is. Okay. Hopefully you're following along, and I guess I've bumped my camera once or twice, so I'll fix that. Alright, so I think I'm ready for my final layer. So I'm going to get one more sheet of paper. This is easily one of my longest videos. I don't normally talk this much in these videos, or sorry, take this long I should say in these videos, but again, I'm trying to explain the process I would go through. Okay. Throw that over there. And now actually, I could tape it down, but maybe just a little bit. And so I'm going to tape just the corner, or sorry, the top. And this is, you know, for you Disney fans, they used to do this kind of animation where they'd have to flip back constantly to see the thing below. So they invented the pin bar drafting board, where you have pins at the bottom, and you can't see my fingers, but you would have pins at the bottom, and each sheet or cell of the animation would have a sheet of paper would have pins in it. It's the same kind of idea, but instead of flipping this way, I'm flipping this way. So I'm going to tape up at the top, allowing me to flip. And I am going to draw down instead of up. And so, so the things that are like the roof that's hanging over the edge, you'll see that quite plainly. Okay. Oh man. Okay, yeah, that's right. So this time though, I'm going to switch to my favorite pen. And I'm simply going to trace the line work that is already here. I need to take this down. This is not going to work the way it is. Keep shifting. I'm going to tape it over here so I can still peel it back. That's better. Okay. So that's the back edge of that roof line. This would be the front edge. Or sorry, the left edge. This is the front edge. Oh, that's better. Should have thought of that earlier. Although the red pen underneath makes it quite nice to trace that. So, okay. Now the roof does have a thickness, so I'm just quickly going to eyeball in the thickness of that roof. And then the vertical's already there. Alright, so there's the roof line. There's a little bit of wall below it. So I'm just going to draw that real quick. And then now I can draw, so that piece is done. and I'm going to draw the rest of the base. I don't know if that if you guys do that when you draw, but I have to frequently rake the paper, as I call it. I think it's a habit. It doesn't actually provide any value. At least I don't think it does. And so again, I'm just tracing the line work I already have, so I don't have to think about this. This is the fast part. At least I think it's the fast part. And there's probably a better methodology about working top to bottom, left to right, or something like that, so you don't get a lot of smeared lines. But my brain doesn't work in a linear fashion. It's kind of all over the place, to be honest. Okay, so the plinth is drawn, the roof is drawn, that little bit of wall below it is drawn. I'm just going to clean or add this wall, and then this drawing will be done. And so I'm going to do all the verticals first. Then I'll do the angles. I'm just going to hand draw that one. Do this angle. Do this angle. And that's it. Drawing is done. And you're like, wait a minute, there's still a bunch of red below it. Yes, but I'm going to turn off the highlight and pull the black off, and then there's my axonometric of, so that's the three-dimensional piece of that two-dimensional plan. That's it. That is how it works. Hopefully you found that valuable, and you know a little bit more about at least my process for drawing and layering information to get clean drawings at the end.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video valuable, please like and share it with others. If you're not already a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to my channel by selecting the profile picture below. This will take you to my channel with videos like these and many others on topics such as Revit, SketchUp, Analog Tools, and videos such as these in the playlist next to you that are specific to this topic. Have a great rest of your day.